Welcome to Mariachi and welcome to trimester 3. We've got some changes happening in this trimester to really accommodate everyone and the busyness that you guys are going to experience in trimester 3 with different testing and just finishing up with the year. Also probably trials of hybrid learning and as different people get vaccinated, it'll be interesting to see how school adjusts in the next 14 weeks, which is the time period for the third trimester. What we're going to do is we're going to start off with finishing our video on the history of mariachi music. And then what we're going to do is we're going to discuss the grading changes. I'll go into more details about that after we watch the video. And your homework for this week will be kind of in line with the changes that we're making. If you did not attend class today, please review the lesson titled March 1st Mariachi Lesson online. I gave the link. That is already on Google Classroom and already on Jupyter. What I'll ask you to do is if you're not here today, you're going to view the video and leave a comment that has 3 things in it. The first thing you need to have in your comment is something that you've learned. The second thing that you need to have in your comment is a question that you have about the video. And a third thing, which is optional, that third part is any other comments you have about that video. Now, if you are in class today and you are attending, you do not have any additional homework. And again, I'll talk more about this when we go through the grading changes for trimester 3, but let's go ahead and shift over into the video now.
Bien. Perfecto. ¿Está lista? Muchísimas gracias. Muchas gracias. Mariachi's personalized their comfort attire with their choice of fabric, colors, and ornamentation. Of course, music wouldn't be complete without la danza or el baile. Originally, mariachi music and dance were inseparable. Each region in Mexico is represented by a different dance costume.
Really important to notice the fact that the dancers or any folkloric group works really hard and they train really hard. Some of the best groups practice every single day. Ourselves, we practice about 3 days a week. And it takes a lot of energy, it takes a lot of discipline, and I think that's one of the most important things in the folkloric group. And if you do not practice, you will notice on your stage. And I think that for us, the practice is the most important part of what we do.
The jarabe tapatio became so popular it was made the national dance of Mexico, the jarabe nacional, known in the United States as the Mexican hat dance. Mariachi music has had its hard times. Mariachis tell stories about how they were forced to play for handouts or were shooed away from classy locations.
Porque llegábamos a los lugares y entonces había clientes ahí y nomás nos miraban que llegábamos y le echaban en ese tiempo una peseta a la pianola y a la rocola, ¿no? Y en ese tiempo con una peseta tocaba 5 piezas, ¿verdad? Entonces, para no aceptarlo, para que no llegáramos y tocáramos, había gente también así y había otros que también nos aceptaban, entonces ya se acababa la pianola y entonces ya seguíamos nosotros.
The very first experience I had performing professionally was in a cantina, and my father, he knew that if he didn't allow me to play there, I probably would not have an opportunity to get into this music in a professional way. Even though they didn't pay me, it was sort of my apprenticeship at the time. And what happened one night, I was playing, and all of a sudden I heard this fighting going on, and I had heard that, you know, prostitutes would come there sometimes, and then before you know it, you hear a fight going on, you know. And I remember just sort of running out because I wanted to get out before I got hurt.
Some of the most difficult times I've had in the mariachi are playing outside outdoors in Plaza Garibaldi during wintertime. Most of the groups work a late night shift, and some groups work until quite late, like maybe 4 or 5 in the morning. I mean, if they're serenades, they'll play till daybreak. But if you're playing outdoors, it's real difficult because your fingers are cold and stiff, and the instruments go terribly out of tune, and the nylon strings and the steel strings go out of tune at different ratios. You know, terrible things happen to the trumpet when it's cold. But it's like everything else. You get used to it. You do what you have to do.
Thankfully, today mariachi music is seen as a positive attraction, a draw to upscale, trendy restaurants, nightclubs, and concert halls. Still, it's not easy being a mariachi, even today.
And most of the musicians that are making a living doing this are just cranking out song after song after day, year after year. I mean, I think the hardest thing in mariachi music is to keep the enthusiasm.
Yes, there are difficult times. It's a rough life. It's a tough life. You don't have any job stability. There's no job benefits. And so in the long run, for everything that I've done, I really don't have a lot to show for it now, except that I'm a very happy woman. Some of the tough things are just the physical endurance that you need. You go to gigs and sometimes you have 10 to 14 hours on weekends and come home and not feel my feet for 3-4 days. You'd be really tired, and then you have to go on and play at a restaurant till 2 in the morning, and maybe have to get up again at 6 or 7 in the morning for another gig. Or when you thought that it was your day off, you had to go to a recording, or you have extra rehearsals. You don't get paid for rehearsals. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. So it really taxes your physical strength. And let me tell you, the guys don't like to see a weak woman.
El trabajar, el viajar por todo el mundo, hay mucho cansancio físico en este grupo porque viaja uno mucho y trabaja uno todos los niveles, a veces teatros, a veces en pueblitos como aquí, a veces en el big campo o casinos o bailes. Pero hay unos que llegan a los 60 y ya se sienten cansados. Por eso yo digo unos 30 años más o menos.
Fue difícil para mí porque la familia fue muy grande, fueron 7 de familia y era muy difícil salir a trabajar y dejarlos, pero pues tuvimos que hacerlo. A pesar de todo, salimos adelante con mucha dificultad.
While mariachi groups were overwhelmingly male, they were often accompanied by a female soloist. Las Coronelas is said to have been the first all-female mariachi group. They began performing in Mexico in the 1940s. Over the years, women have continued to gain acceptance and inclusion in the world of mariachi. In the United States, women of many cultures become mariachis, and some have even become musical directors.
Me, for instance, as an American woman playing the trumpet, a male-dominated instrument, in a male-dominating music of mariachi, it's been very difficult, and it's taken a long time and to build respect, and I think I'm always going to have to do that. Once I moved to LA and then started playing with Mariachi Los Pateros. Right, that was 1976. You know, I was the first woman, so I remember feeling like I was being looked at, stared at, like, but not in a very happy way, more in a sort of like, you know, I don't know if I feel really comfortable with this woman being next to me. But then, after about 3 months or so, once they got a feeling for letting me settle into the group, and then it changed drastically. It changed to not only acceptance, but excitement that they had this woman in the group. To be a mariachi makes me feel very, very proud of the music, of my heritage, of where I come from. Born and raised in East Los Angeles, it's been an awesome experience, wonderful.
One development that contributed to mariachi's rise in popularity in California and the Southwest occurred in 1961, when the University of California in Los Angeles became the first academic institution to teach mariachi music. Today, mariachi is so popular, it's offered in schools at all levels.
I think the whole movement here in the United States is inspirational. I think that's part of the reason it keeps me going. Those kids have such a love and a passion for this music, just like I felt. In my times, I was considered to be crazy, and it's just I was ahead of the game. I feel like so many more people understand where I was coming from now because of the fact that I was a 20-year-old feeling passionate about mariachi music, and now you've got 5-year-olds that want to grow up to be mariachis.
I've been singing since I was 2 years old, and now I am 8 years old. The best part is that I get to see people smiling, and that I know that they're very happy to know that I'm here and that I'm singing to them.
And if the arts is just one of those means in which they can achieve greatness, because we know that academic scores are enhanced by the fact that they learn music and they learn dance or they learn theater. They're expressing themselves in such a positive way.
So I asked the school administration if I could start a mariachi class. And they said, well, if you can get 15 students to sign up, we'll fund the class. On the first day, 47 kids showed up. So there was tremendous response. Surprised the school district. On the first day, I asked the students, how many of you play a musical instrument? None of them. After 2 years or 3 years, the kids started getting really good. By this point, I was enjoying the teaching of the music at this level. It had a tremendous impact on the community and on the students themselves.
La música mexicana se contagia desde niños. Ya de los niños empiezan a oír la música mexicana y empiezan a sentir la ebullición de su sangre, que tienen la sangre latina, como le nombran, pero la sangre mexicana. La sangre la misma que los llama a aprender nuestras raíces.
Mariachi programs expand the cultural base of non-Mexican youth and help students of Mexican descent appreciate their roots. Mariachi is becoming the music of a new generation.
I started playing mariachi music at the University of Southern California. I started playing mariachi music because two of my brothers and one of my sisters had been playing mariachi.
All right. So we have about 10 minutes left of that video. We'll continue it next week. And next week, we'll also bring back in the mariachi instruments, and we'll continue with our lessons. But I did want to take a couple of minutes to discuss the grading changes, as I mentioned earlier. So there are 14 weeks of class in this third trimester, trimester 3. And so I've calculated the points for the class so that participation will be 70% of your grade. And there are 2 ways of earning those participation points. They're going to be 5 points a week. And each week, you'll either come to class, and then you'll get the participation points right off of just coming to class. You don't have any extra homework to do. If you can't come to class for some reason and you have to miss class, then you do have to have a little bit of homework. And that is to view the video for the class. And after you viewed the video, what I'd like you to do is make a comment in the comment section online. You're going to comment on something that you learned and a question that you have about the video. And it's always optional to add any other comments that you would like, but those first 2 are required for you to get those 5 points. In addition to just the participation grade, we have performance grade as well. It's going to be a total of 30%, so the remaining percent of your grade. There's going to be 3 performances. And for mariachi, those dates are going to be March 29th, April 26th, and May 31st. And we'll see kind of as we're getting closer to those dates exactly what those flip grid performances will involve. But it's going to be very similar to the flip grid performances that you've been doing from last trimester. So either you'll show me a part of a song, a full song. We'll kind of figure it out and see how it goes as we go through. Finally, I know that there's going to be days that you do miss class and maybe don't have time that week to view the video. So I decided that I was going to create 2 extra credit opportunities. They're going to happen. I haven't figured out the dates exactly yet, and I haven't figured out what they're going to be exactly yet, but they're going to be 2 extra credit opportunities that I will give to you all. Each will be worth 5 points, 5 points, and 5 points. It could add up to a 10% grade boost. So, for example, if you've missed 2 classes and you haven't commented on them or anything, you would like that grade boost, then you can do those extra credit opportunities. So, really, the focus of this shift is to make it easier for you guys to continue with music, even when you're starting to have more studying to do. Really, the only commitment that you're going to be making is spending a half an hour to 40 minutes with me each week so that you can develop your musical skills. And of course, it's to be said that practice is essential for you to grow in your instrument. It's just that's no longer going to be part of your grade. Last trimester, we did a lot of practice logs, and I felt that if you were going to practice, you were going to practice. If If you weren't going to practice, you weren't going to practice. And the practice logs weren't, they were helpful for me. So I knew exactly what you were going to be working on, but it didn't really help the actual amount of practice that people were doing. So the practice logs are out, and instead it's going to be, attendance-based, participation-based, and if you can't make it to class, please do watch the videos and make your comments so you can get those 5 points each week. Totals up to 70 points, which is 70% of your grade. Flipgrid performances, there's 3 of them, each 10 points each, which is 30% of your grade, and extra credit will give you a 10% boost if there are a couple of missing assignments that you have. So that is all from me today. If you have any questions, please message me on Jupyter. Otherwise, I can listen to any questions. And if you were not here, I do expect for you to comment on this video. And remember, the comment is going to be something that you learned and also a question that you have, also any other comments that you'd like to make.